iCloud. There we go. Okay, so yesterday we talked about vulnerability and the courage that it takes to be vulnerable, and the other component of that quote, which that really resonated with me, about if love is your guidance, then was being strong. And I thought, well, that has a whole bunch of connotations as well. People think strong. There's all these different aspects of emotional strength, mental strength, physical strength, social presence and strength, whatever. So I thought, how does love, if love is guiding us, what does that mean that we will be we'll be more strong? And I know that's part of OPWP is Stronger Together. So I know that, I thought we could talk about that. And since just you and I, it would be very timely and pertinent. So what do you think? Strength, love, and being strong.
Yeah, I think that strength is like the action. Like to me, love. When I think of love, I think of taking action, and the taking action is like for yourself first, and the strength in that is actually, decide to do it. So like loving is being aware that you want something or that you like something, that you feel something about it. And I think that the strength is actually maybe more of the taking the action, like deciding to move towards it. So I think they go well together, especially thinking about vulnerability, because then it's the next layer of, the possibility of being hurt.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think, looking at the three, the vulnerability, the strength, and the courage. And I don't know which comes first. I think they just mesh together, and one may come first one time and another one may come first, but being vulnerable is opening yourself. And then strength is going forward no matter what. Mm-hmm. And courage then is to recognize that other people's rejection, actions, whatever you want to call it, aren't about you. And just, doing it anyway. I mean, that kind of a cliche is be afraid, fear, and do it anyway. I mean, you hear that so much. I think it's really, those three things, it really resonated with me. The vulnerability, having the strength and courage to do it anyway. And that love is the guidance for that. I mean, that just was a whole new way of looking at that for me. And it really resonated with me. So thank you for that. That taking action is the courageous part. And it takes a strong commitment, a strong willingness to be vulnerable.
Yeah, that's awesome, because commitment is my word for the year. My word was commit. And I found about myself that I have a strong willingness. Like we talked about skydiving and climbing like mountains and stuff, like doing the things that other people are like, oh, I don't think I want to do that. Well, you and I are the same about wanting to have experiences and live life. And that's courage. And that's because we love life.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love life. See,
love life.
Yeah, love life. Anyway, our time is up. So we will go forth and work on our intention, and then I'll meet you back here in 40 minutes.
Sounds great. Thank you,
Tanya. And I will stop the recording. I don't need to record yet. Yeah. So
we are.
So having that opportunity to do some planning with your hubby, you have any more courageous acts of vulnerability, strength, or courage that are going to go forward as you negotiate the rest of the week or the month?
I think, what we were talking about there, the courage that maybe isn't what Troy and I were talking about is really like I was planning when I would have um a girls' night, like when I would have time to go do a girls' night fully. And what's awesome is that that was actually one of my 5 actions that I wrote down for love in class.
Awesome.
And it was the one that I circled that I've let go of through the last year, that that was something that was very important to me all the time, was getting out of the house, having time with a friend, dancing, or just doing something. And so that was one of my 5 actions that I committed to moving forward with in the next 3 days. So my friend actually reached out to me to ask me about having a girls' night after I had wrote that down, and how very OP. So then,
Yeah.
so then that was something we were discussing, is like, this month, what does it look like for our family? And the courageous thing is like, you know, I plant my flag and say, well, I'm doing this day. This is my day. And then, he then in return was saying, well, my friend said this about this. Like, let's figure that out. So that's something like courageously that I wouldn't have called it a courageous act before, because it was something that I just knew to be true about myself, is like I knew I needed that time away to recharge and fully just, it lights me up to be around other adults, other people, have conversations. But my husband didn't always have that. And I wanted to encourage him to have it as well, because I knew how much it helped my mental capacity. And so the courageous part of that is that we're both getting that, and that we're both understanding how important that time is for friendship, and to build connections outside of just our home too, which we really made a priority over the last year. So
That's great. It's amazing how things work together. One of the things I just wrote in my journal, in my intentions and relationships, because that's a page I've never done before either. Uh, I wrote down that very thing, to be more attentive to my friendships, because I will get so focused on my passions for working with the homeless or whatever it is, city council, whatever it is, that I forget how nourishing that is to my soul. I have 3 or 4 friends that we go out to lunch or do something once a month. And most of them are retired teachers like me. So we have a lot in common, and it keeps me attached to that, that part of my life. And I haven't, well, the pandemic stopped it to start with, but
right.
since then we can do that.
Yeah.
And one of them I have a couple times, but one I haven't reached out at all. And I thought, so I put an intention to reach out to her, because she doesn't have a lot of friends, and she's her husband passed away, and she's newly, more newly widowed than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's interesting, because I thought, that's an intention that I will follow through, which will be a loving act for myself, as well as a loving act to her. Just to have that connection.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I love how, sometimes we get these nods that are just reminders. I love, there's a whole thing about reminders and remembering. And I think that might be what I'm about to go blog about today, is the reminders.
There you go. It all works on purpose, right?
Yeah, that it does. May not be planned, but it is on purpose.
Yeah, the universe is for us, that's for sure. That's one of the questions we ask in Fearless Living. A lot of people don't understand when we ask that question, but do you see the universe for you or against you? And it, depending on your answer, that's exactly how you'll plod your way through your journey.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you.
It's for us, yeah. Okay, well, you go forth and have a great day, and I'll see you soon.
You too. Thank you, Terry Ann.
Thank you.